And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have draft screen up here. We're seeing in the Aurora and the Olaf ban here from CSU. Graves isn't anything too special to really ban here. I think that's more so a matchup thing for CSU's jungler. We are going to see the Nocturne ban, which is something that I wouldn't think we'd see, played at all. Not especially from CSU here. It's kind of interesting. The Amumu ban is a pretty solid choice here, though. Amumu is very strong right now in terms of tankiness, in terms of CC, in terms of setting up kills, especially for the ADC, especially for a loose cannon mid laner. The Syndra ban. We've seen Syndra kind of stomp CSU, so to see it get banned by USF is kind of unsurprising, considering how powerful Syndra can get if you let them scale. We're going to see the Jhin Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is probably going to be mid. That miasma is very, very strong, especially late game. Early game, though, you're going to see that mid lane possibly become a Canyon, depending on who Kaizik's counter picks into this. This could also just be Cassiopeia top, which could mess around with, if this is Yone top, then I doubt it's Yone top. I'm pretty sure this is Yone mid, though. So this might be a counter pick into Yone, actually. We're going to see Draven get picked here from CSU. That's a huge play there. Draven Nautilus, one of the best combo characters in this game. Or not really combo, but synergized characters in this game. Champions. We're going to see the Yuumi. Oh, that's just unfortunate. Okay, good. If they locked in Yuumi, that would have been a little laughable, considering Yuumi goes so poorly into any engage comp. To see counterpick Leona, that's good for USF there. They probably hovered over Yuumi and got yelled at by their team. We're going to see the next 4 bans coming up here. Cassante, that's a good ban to have. Jason's Cassante is definitely something to be feared, and considering how strong Cassante is right now, I mean, it has always been strong, really. It's nothing to scoff at. It's definitely something that you want to get banned. We're going to see a Jax ban here, an Ivern ban. That's a big ban from USF, wanting to make sure that that mid lane and that jungle do not get any utility here. This last ban coming in from CSU is going to be... Imagine we're looking at top laners here. Who would we not want to face? Volibear, Draven, Camille, actually. That's interesting. Top lane Camille, I don't think is very much viable in the current meta. I mean, it's definitely a interesting character. It's just really hard to farm with in certain circumstances. We are going to see the Rammus come out here from USF. Maybe not Lee Sin. Back to Rammus. Back to Lee Sin. We're going to see the Lee Sin lock in. I think the Rammus would have been better here. It counters Draven, and you need to get rid of that Draven. I mean, so does Leona, but Leona's not going to be the solo fight here. All Nautilus has to do is grab that Jhin, and it's all over for the bot lane there. Rammus would have been a big up for USF there in terms of this team comp. But who knows? Maybe they just need... Maybe they have this... Who are we waiting for? Top laner here. Just top lane pick. It's going to be something good. We have Jarvan the 4th coming in here. It's good for CSU. Orianna pick. Okay, that's interesting. So Yone is top lane, maybe. We're going to see the Malphite top lane. No, we're going to see that change to Gwen. I do like Gwen right now. Gwen's always been strong. They're a huge shredder when it comes to ability power builds. And there's so few items in this game that are actually good with magic resist, which is why, Elise is so good. You see a lot of these AP junglers that are just solid right now because of it. Like Fiddlesticks, Elise. I mean, Evelyn's not great, but if you let them ball out of control, it gets out of hand pretty quickly. It's also the reason why characters like Brand are so strong right now as well, is because there's not really much you can do against that chip damage and everything else. Who else am I thinking of? Lilia. Lilia's also very strong right now. aside, utility aside, this Renekton going into the Yone is pretty interesting. I think the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is this bot lane here, watching the Draven Nautilus combo come into play. We should be starting here shortly. Does look like we're ready game, quite possibly. We're going to be starting here. Jason obviously taking the first pick.
End of the line. Come on, I won't hurt you. I promise.
People fear what they cannot understand.
I'd rather be home anyway.
Yeah, we are seeing Jason playing the Yone into the Renekton here. I think the Renekton is going to play really well into the Yone. I don't necessarily think it's a counter pick. But I do think it's going to be a bit of a struggle for Jason if he gets too low health to really get away from this Renekton and vice versa. I do think the Renekton has better peel than Yone. Like, substantially better peel, but I think the Jarvan, the fourth, going into this Lee Sin is good. The only thing I would hate to see from CSU here is that they don't have so much AP. So this Renekton's going to be able to build some armor. This Lee Sin's going to be able to build some armor. This Leona's going to be able to build some armor. And they're just going to be able to really withstand each other here. The issue with this is that this Lee Sin and this Cassiopeia are going to be doing a lot of AP damage. And CSU's going to have a little bit of that hybrid. If they're going to be able to withstand the steam here. Especially Aqualad on the Nautilus is going to be a bit challenging here. I mean, we're going to be sitting here for about 4 minutes here, waiting to see what happens out of this game. Right off the get-go. Bot lane. I'm expecting this Jhin to have to play extremely safe here. This Leona, I don't like the Jhin Leona comp. It's played really well in a lot of upper tier or more professional standards, yes. The one thing I don't like about it is that Jhin can engage, but there's not a whole lot that Leona can do to disengage for Jhin. So in that matter, I think a more poke and peel comp for bot lane works best with Jhin. Or even like something like ironically enough, Nami works very well with Jhin. Nautilus, Blitzcrank, what's his name? Pike they're all really good for Jhin. Leona, I'm not so sure in terms of that. So I think that's something that's gonna be very bad for USF here, is that this bot lane's gonna suffer just because Draven Nautilus is such a good synergistic combo. But Jhin, Leona, they don't really have a whole lot that synergizes that makes them strong together. They are strong independently, and I mean, Leona is a very solid support character to pick into this here. But I don't necessarily think it's the best option Jhin could possibly have here, especially for an engaged tank. On the Cassiopeia against the Orianna here, this comes down to just play styles of both characters. This Cassiopeia, whether they do well or not, they're going to have a huge influence on the late game. So Kha'Zix really has to do well in lane here to really kind of be able to contest against the Cassiopeia. Because if the Cassiopeia starts to do really well in lane early, late game, the poor Orianna is not going to have a whole lot of utility or AP to do the AP that CSU desperately needs here in this comp. Jarvan the 4th year, very solid gank potential here for CSU compared to the Lee Sin. Lee Sin does have some good movement. And I mean, you know, using vision and all that sorts should be fine for the Lee Sin to kind of come in, sneak around, and get things going here for CSU. I think the major thing that we're going to see here, and this is going to be the deciding factor for this game, though, is actually this Yone and Renekton. I have a feeling somebody's going to have to camp bot lane, whether it's USF or whether it's CSU. They're going to have to get this Renekton or this Yone behind in order for things to really get kicked off. You're going to have to be contesting so many objectives here in this middle game that's... You just can't have this Yone be, you know, living rent-free in your mind the whole game. And same thing for the Renekton. Because, I mean, Renekton has that peel and he has that engage capability. And, I mean, Renekton is essentially just a brute force tank. Not really a tank, if we're being honest, but he's essentially just brute force. And Yone he's a brawler in a sense. So both of them are coming in fairly similar play styles for the most part. And I think the major thing here is if you get this Yone super fed, then everything should be fine.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
All right, we're seeing Jason here in River. Beard's weird. Got the what is that? The pool skin or is that the party skin? Scrub McLord on the best Draven skin in the game. Seeing Aqualad having to reset there. Was that a kill?
Minions have spawned.
That was not a kill. Okay, so he just had the reset because of a bad engage or something. He got called out in the bush, probably just wanted to be back at full health. Yeah, this is the pool party Jarvan. We're gonna be starting Raptors here. I think that's a good place to kind of start there for Jarvan.
disconnected.
And we're gonna see a disconnect here from the opposing jungler. Gonna put a pause on the game for 30 minutes.
A summoner has reconnected.
Alright, we're gonna see that reconnect. Alright, I think the timer's kicking down here. I think we're still frozen though. Not entirely sure what's happening. Are we currently bugged? We might be currently bugged here. No, never mind. We are continuing. Okay. Jason's going to be playing back and safe this time around. That is smart against the Renekton. He's going to have to take up so much space because just there's no point in trying to engage on that. It's so peel heavy. We are seeing the Nautilus up in jungle there. Yeah, they're going to be doing some poking and prodding. It's good for Jason to kind of take up some space. Lee Sin's going to be moving in though. There's a lot going on up in the mid lane here. There's just so much happening in mid lane. Like, I'm not entirely sure what USF is doing here. Kaiser is gonna get his canyon. We are gonna see USF here steal a little bit of jungle. I don't know why this Leona is kiting the jungler. Like, what is happening right now? We're about to see Drake come up here in a second. Jason's in a bit of a pickle in top lane as well. Kaisek's also looking pretty even with this Cassiopeia, though. I don't think an engage from Orianna is really that great of a trade here, though. Strugmic Lord and Aqualad just down on bot lane, waiting to engage here. Yeah, this Leona's level 2. What are they doing? Okay, well now they're level 3. Alright, we're gonna see Jason reset here. This Renekton's gonna be traveling in jungle. Nobody knows why he's there. His sound effects from Draven are intense. I see the flash from Leona there. Aqualad caught that. They know where they're at. We're gonna see a huge engage here. Draven's gonna have to drop down in here. Beardsbird coming in, getting a good little poke off on this Lee Sin. Unfortunately, though, that is a dead Nautilus. And that's gonna be a reset from USF. They don't want to engage on this Draven. More importantly, I don't think they can when Draven's under tower. I mean, he just does so much damage that it's not worth trading. Alright, and we're gonna be seeing Kaiser mid lane. He's gonna get a good farm in. It's weird. Still in jungle. That's a good little poke there from Aqualad. Trying to figure out where this enemy jungler is. They are going to be up on the Void Grubs, though. Not what you necessarily want at this point in time from CSU. They're going to have to go for second wave Grubs. Where is this Leona coming? What? This is the weirdest support I have seen coming from USF here. I mean, clearly it's working for them given their rank, but still. Alright, we're seeing that Lee Sin get spotted there on the map by CSU's Ghost Boro. We're seeing CSU again spot the Leona through Ghost Boro. I mean, CSU is already behind on 2 objectives here. I mean, I know Jarvan needs the farm, but Jarvan also just needs to contest these objectives here. At least get some vision on him, because currently CSU has no vision on Drake. They don't even know where this jungler is at the moment. Scrub McLord's going to be moving in through it, though. Good take up there from Scrub McLord. He's just going to take a couple of them, though. Gotta move back in with Aqualad. There's not really a good opportunity for anybody to take Drake here. Lee Sin could do it by themselves, but they risk getting ganked. They're not careful about it. It's gonna be a good route there from the Jhin. Yeah, there's Kaizik's getting killed there. Unfortunately, CSU's already behind on CS. They're already behind on kills. They're not going to be behind on kills in a moment, though. There's a Scrub McLord kill there that's going to bring things back up. And Beard's Weird is just going to decide the solo dragon here. I mean, Lee Sin is basically by themselves. Jason's going to fall, though, which I think is a fair trade. We're actually going to see a DPS build here from Lee Sin, interestingly enough. Beard's going to collect that Drake. We're going to see a reset entirely from CSU here. Rite of Ages from the Cassiopeia is not what you want to be seeing so early. I mean, Kaizix is so far behind on CS here. We're going to start to see Jason roam a little bit. He's going to be spotted by that control ward, though. I'm going to see the Lee Sin come in here. Up in mid lane. What is happening down mid lane river? Okay, Jason's gonna get out of there. Everybody's gonna get out of there alive. Jason wasn't gonna take any hits. He's just gonna ignore the control ward? I mean, I guess it makes sense he is behind on CS. Here's where he's gonna get a kill. That's good for him. He needs to be able to contest this Renekton later on. Cassiopeia's gonna start doing things. We're gonna see the second Void Grub spawn, which we need to take here if we're gonna be in it. This Leona's been put into a pickle. Renekton's gonna dive in on Jason here. Yon just can't really do a whole lot. And that's unfortunate for Jason. He's gonna have to reset. Scrub McLord's really the only thing that can really come up and do anything to him. Yeah, best thing that you can do is just reset. Let's see. Pyrix go bot lane for a minute there. Jason might actually get something going here. He gets a kill. An overeager reptile dies. Unfortunately, though, we are going to see USF there collect all 6 Void Grubs. Not a trade for the Drake that you want to be making. At the very least, it's going to tie up some things here for CSU and USF. Jarvan the fourth doing some good work there on damage. Kaizik's able to catch back up to things with that kill. Cassiopeia's been a big player here for CSU, being able to get some kills off. Weird. Not entirely sure how he wants to engage on this. Guys, is gonna wait to engage here. He's just gonna choose to reset, actually. There's a lot going on in jungle here. Jason's gonna be engaging on this Lee Sin. Their whole team's there, basically, at this point. Jeez. Yeah, Jason's just gonna be abandoned on top lane here.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
This is a good counter push here from CSU, though. They've taken up the entire bot side river, essentially, at least on their half. They're preparing for this Drake. They're not going to force it, though, but they do want a team fight. This is not something that we've seen work out very well for CSU in the past. Forcing out team fights is one of the reasons why they've suffered so much. And yeah, no, we're going to see this Cassiopeia back off to try to get some vision going. Guys, this is just gonna get killed there. And one by one, CSU is gonna fall. Unfortunately, only Scrubback Lord lives. It's unfortunate for CSU there. They're gonna lose this Drake in the process.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
We're gonna be seeing Scrubback the Lord kind of push down mid lane. Jason having a bit of a fickle problem on the top lane now, though. Okay, we're gonna see them push up for this Herald. I think the biggest problem with CSU is that they've been so late to a lot of these objectives. And again, they just force team fights in River. I don't think that's the wisest decision that you can really do here. I mean, Scrubback Lord is still very strong here, very hard to kill. But unfortunately, CSU behind on objectives now, behind on money. Behind on kills now, especially after that failed team fight. They have a whole lot that they need to be waiting patiently for at this point in time. And there's the Rift Herald getting pushed out from USF there. Again, Beardsweird just needs to be better at getting to these objectives. I know at this point it's grinding, it's ganking, and he does a great job at ganking, but we need to be on these objectives in order to win. We're losing so many fights because we're losing so many objectives early on. I think that's the huge thing here, is that just the team's not acting coordinated at all. And that's what is kind of making things a bit rough for them, is that they aren't working together for some of these objectives. And it's causing them to flub a lot of not only objectives, but just deaths and losing team fights. Jason trying to chase that out, not gonna get it though. I think the biggest here for CSU now is that they just need to play patiently, scale, and catch up here. You're gonna see a big team fight here in jungle. We're gonna see Jin there get the kill on Aqualad though. We're gonna see mid lane get popped with the Herald here though. That's really bad for Scriptic Lord by themselves out here. We're gonna still see a bunch of action here on mid lane. We're gonna see USF here ping for Drake here. We're also gonna see a lot of pings from everybody, really. I think the biggest thing is that they need to set up vision. There we go. We have some vision now. That vision's gonna get detected though. Unfortunately, we're going to see CSU start to fall one by one, but they've done a lot of good damage here. They could get away with it. Guys, their last help, unfortunately, going to fall. That's a full team wipe there from CSU. Unfortunate, and we're going to be left in the dark here as they beat up this poor Mountain Drake. Coming up now, Aqualad and Jason coming up first. Again, forcing these team fights, I think, is something that USF wants to do now, and CSU, unfortunately, has put themselves in a bad position for engaging on these team fights. gonna see that engage there from Beard's Weird. A big fight in jungle here. This is something winnable for CSU though. And unfortunately, it's not possible for CSU anymore. Jason, the only one out of the skirmish, left alive. Doomed to probably fall here. Gonna play extremely carefully. They're gonna take Baron. And this is just gonna be a game 1 win to USF unless CSU comes back and defends heavily.
Red team has slain.
There's Baron dropped there. Jason's gotta get out of there.
Storm of blades.
Unfortunately, CSU's just gonna keep falling. One by one. I mean, this Lee Sin is so fed. And this Jhin, while not necessarily fed, he does hit like a truck.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
I think CSU's just been playing this all wrong. They've been trying to engage. Beard's Weird, not, you know, the whole team really not corrugating around objectives. And I think that's a huge thing that they need to be doing here. At least playing vision around objectives. I mean, these towers are just going to fall one by one here.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
With these empowered minions as well from Baron to Shore, there's not a whole lot you can do. Jason's still doing his best on top lane by himself. But, you know, back at home base, things are not looking so great. And slowly but surely, objectives are going to fall one by one. You see a lot of trades here. That's a huge trade, though, for CSU. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough, though. We're going to see Jason basically left alone again. That's going to be the ace. And that's going to be game over unless Beard's Weird can pull off some miracle here. And that's it, unfortunately. CSU losing to USF. The first game here. Game number 2 is going to have to be a doozer for CSU if they want to stay in this. Their NACE record has not been so great, so hot this season so far. And I think the main issues is just that it just seems like they are very slow on these objectives. They need to be getting to these objectives much quicker. I mean, Beard's Weird, getting these good ganks is very good for the team, don't get me wrong, but in a lot of circumstances, you need that objective. Alright folks, we'll be right back. Hopefully, once this draft is back up and going, we should see hopefully a reformed team comp. I'm pretty sure this is Fearless rule set here, so we won't be seeing the release in return. Won't be seeing the Jhin. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing the Draven Nautilus combo. What I hope to see here is the Rakan come out. I think if the Rakan comes out, that's really big for CSU. If they can get their utility team comp going with the Rakan, with basically anything that Scrub McLord plays for ADC, getting the Tristana out, getting either the Lilia or the mainly just the Lilia or the what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? The Bushman. Ivern, there we go. Ivern. Lilia or Ivern would work very, very well. And then just getting, Poppy up on top lane. That whole utility comp. More specifically works best with Ashe as an ADC. But that comp in and of itself is just something that's really, really powerful and something that CSU has done very well with, especially if not the Poppy, pulling out the Skarner. The Skarner, I think, is something that CSU wants to make work. It's very hard to pull off. A lot of times, Skarner top lane does get countered pretty badly by some things. But we'll be right back in a moment. You doing okay? And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is the fearless side of things here. Alright, we are seeing USF here on the same side as last time. I'm seeing Beard's Beard on the Zara. Yeah, this is
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
seeing Scrubbic Lord on the Jhin this time around. Interesting. Never mind, we are not on Fearless. I thought this was a Fearless.
30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Alright, and we're seeing a lot of invade here from the enemy team here. This is an Elise fight here. Elise is very difficult in of a sense to go up against. I mean, the farm that you get late game with Elise is very, very strong, very, very quick. And the ability to kind of switch between spider form, which is meant more as an assassin, to a utility form, which can still do a good chunk of damage, but it's mostly there for that stun. It's mostly there for that crowd control. Jason losing out on a lot of CS there, unfortunately. Isaac's playing extremely careful to Silas. We're seeing Elise come down the bot lane here in a moment. Could see something happen. Kind of sad that we didn't get to see the Recon come back here, but I do think the Nautilus might be what's necessary. Elise is coming down here. Unfortunately, Nautilus is not going to be able to do anything about that. Oh, we are going to see Aqualad claim a kill, though.
Blue team.
They're just going to hand over 3 kills to Nautilus. That is a huge flub. Yes, they got money from that, but so did Nautilus. Fortunately, Beard's Weird's going to be very far behind because of this. I think that's the main weakness of Zara, is that you just end up getting invaded. And there's not a whole lot that Zara can do about that. At this point in the game as well, Zara can't really gank all that hard either. Go ahead and see that Elise kind of get that kill there. They were waiting in that bush very patiently there, and that's just a unfortunate kill for CSU to kind of lose on. And there's the Renekton. We're gonna see one of those little spiders die. That's fine for Aqualad. Fortunately, he has no wards to put there. CSU's just in such a tight spot at this point already in the game. Almost 3k behind on gold. That's a very, very bad start. We're gonna see that at least get down there early. And that's just looking really bad for them. Unfortunately, Scrub McLord's gonna fall as well. We're gonna see Kaizix come down as well, and that's gonna be a lost Drake. CSU in this weird position to where they're just not able to contest any space, and they're forcing a lot of these interactions, and they're just moving very poorly. And I think that's the hard part there, is that they just aren't exactly getting what they need out of a lot of circumstances. Like, we're already seeing a lane change here. Ari going to bot lane. We're probably gonna have to see a lot of lane changes just to make this team comp work here against this. I mean, we're seeing, you know, we're gonna have to do a lot of distracting here for Beard's Weird to be able to do anything with Zara at this point. I mean, they're so far behind on everything. They've caught up to this Elise at the very least, because Elise has been distracted, but like, look at how much kills that the Elise has versus, I mean, CSU has 4 across the board and 3 of them are on the Nautilus. Like, I mean, Skarner's like your strongest character on the team right now, and he's also behind significantly. Unfortunately, it's just looking like I mean, this league's just only going to continue to grow from USF here. This is already just looking very bleak for CSU. This is like, they're going to have to blunder 3 fights. USF, I mean, is going to have to blunder 3 fights in order to lose this lead. We're seeing a lot go down in jungle here. They're chasing the Silas out. Not entirely sure what's going on down there. We're gonna see the Silas get kind of triple. We're gonna see the Assassin come out. And unfortunately, the Silas is just so strong right now. Aqualad's gonna possibly go down. He's gonna get out of there. No, he's not gonna actually get out of there. And Jason's gonna be left alone here to fight this Elise, and Kaizix is going to be left on bot lane to fend for himself. Jason's surprisingly still alive here. An unfortunate team fight there from CSU. Not a whole lot that they can do. See Jason finally retreat back. Nobody's really taking a Drake yet, though.
This identity is
I see the Silas do the chain grab there. Jason's gonna be back up. Beard's Weird's gonna come up to lane here. We're gonna see Kaizix in mid. Unfortunately, they have vision of him though. From looks of it. Kaizix gonna be able to peel away there. That's really good there. And unfortunately, this is gonna be a lost Drake from CSU. There's not a whole lot they can do to take up the space. I mean, when you've blundered so much early game like that, there's not a whole lot you can do. At this point, the only thing CSU can do is play safe. They gotta let Scrub McLord gain some levels here, gain some CS. I mean, he's almost a full 40 behind Raven, which is bad. Very, very bad. I mean, CSU is just so far behind in every degree.
Rampage.
And yeah, guys, he's just gonna get out-zoned by that Draven.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Gonna be the first turret down on bot lane there from USF. Starting to claim these objectives slowly but surely, about 11 minutes into the game. We're gonna see the Collector come out from Draven. Black Cleaver get picked up by Renekton. We're starting to see the full buys come in here. And unfortunately, CSU doesn't even have anybody who can do a full buy. They're 9k gold behind. And it's just, the longer this game goes on, the more of a hole CSU's, you know, digging for themselves. I mean, your strongest player is Jason, and he can't even 1v1 any of these characters that are on the enemy team here. Except for maybe Leona. We're gonna see the Void Grubs get taken there again by... I mean, this is just another textbook case of, you know, CSU's behind now. They can't take objectives. Guys, it just has no power to fucking do anything there. I mean, just look at how much damage he did to the Renekton. The Renekton just has so much HP, plus the Mercury Treads. It's just... It doesn't necessarily counter Kha'Zix at all. It just... Kha'Zix just can't... He has no CS because he's been put behind trying to support his team, trying to flex off. And there he goes. He's just going to be killed. Aqualad about to go down to Humphrey. And that's just going to be a double kill there. And Jason's all by himself again. Scrub McLord just coming out of spawn. At least we're going to see that barrier get popped by the Draven. But, I mean... Yeah, now we're going to see that teleport come in. This is probably going to be the Renekton. Silas. They know that Silas is there. I mean, shoot. 18 kills a 6. Only gonna gain another one. This at least is looking very powerful. The Straven's looking very powerful. CSU has nobody at this point that can really contest. We're gonna see Beard's Weird here. And a carry's position, main mid lane tower is basically a one tap from Renekton. And 2-tap from Draven, apparently. Not much you could do there other than surrendering that objective. They need the Drake, though. They desperately need this Drake. Is it worth a team fight over? No, they have to be sneaky about it at this point. I mean, we're seeing them shift to Rift Herald. They have no vision over there, though, because of the amount of control wards. And that's just so unfortunate for CSU. I mean, like, if Jason goes back to top lane through River, that's just going to be so bad. And yeah, no, luckily they spot things in time. And there's Rift Herald. Renekton's gonna be able to get out of there. Don't focus the Leona. Get rid of the threats first. The threats are a big problem.
Legendary.
Unfortunately,
Godlike.
not looking good for CSU there. We're gonna play under tower. I think this is the best bet. Unfortunately, Scrub McClure couldn't get away from the spider, but he did drag it away from everybody else. Jason doing a good job at positioning himself. He needs to get this prong off on somebody. Trying to get the read on the Leona. We're gonna go ahead and see Kaizek's here. Holding down the fort on bot lane by himself. I mean, at least Kaizek is looking a whole lot better on the CS side of things. Starting to gain back that power that he needs. Unfortunately, he just has no kills, and he needs those kills. He needed that dragon as well. And CSU's just in a rough spot now without that Drake. He's gonna start flexing probably back towards mid there. Or maybe even top. We're gonna see a very precarious position here. Nautilus is not in a great place. He is gonna get the read there through the wall. This Renekton does so much damage. There goes the Nautilus dying, and unfortunately Jason is next. There is no tanks left. They have to peel out. There is the Rift Herald. And Shelly's gonna take this tower. Rift Herald inbound. Fortunately enough, it gets smited out by Beard's Weird. They're gonna be able to hold on to this tower a little bit longer. Yeah, Jason's just in a very bad position. This Elise is so powerful, so strong. There's not a whole lot anybody can do about it. And Scrubbic Lord's gonna overextend, unfortunately get the snake bite, and that's gonna be the whole team down. Beard's Weird basically left on his lonesome, back at spawn, healing up a little bit. He's gonna come back out. Unfortunately, this is just looking like a game already. And like I said, I called it from the beginning. CSU is gonna continue to have this deficit now because of that, just that early flub. And just, I mean, look at how much that Draven does. Just 2 hits. They really need to get this Renekton kill. And unfortunately, there is no Renekton kill. They are going to get the shutdown on the Draven, though. That's huge. Aqualad needs to do something about this. Unfortunately, it's all over. It's weird. Still keeping things in the game. The Leona able to do something, though. Tower's going to go down. Beardswood's gonna get 2 kills there, but he's gonna get assassinated by the Elise. It's a good shield there from Jason. CSU is just out of it, though. They really have to defend very strong here. Unfortunately, minions are just going to take that bot tower eventually here. And they can't be on it. They have to deal with these big guys that are coming down lanes now. The YouTuber's gonna recover. And Baron Shore is gonna finally spawn. 20 minutes into the game here. I mean, this is already looking in a bad position here for CSU. I mean, CSU is missing the Rakan, they're missing the Tristana, and they're missing the Ashe to make this work. Just gonna go Aqualad down first. Next coming in is it's the whole team, one after another. Jason's gonna fall next. Kaiser's gonna try to survive here on tower. And that is game. USF takes game 2, and that is GG's for tonight. USF just absolutely devouring CSU in game 2. Those minor decisions there from CSU leading to huge, and I mean huge, blunders. And that's unfortunate to see. I mean, I just want to see this Elise and this Draven's damage stat for the most part. We're not going to be able to see it, unfortunately. So that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you guys have a great night. It is currently 9:36 here on the East Coast. I mean, yeah, we might be able to see it. Nope, never mind. That's just team damage. I don't know what's going on there. Anyways, good night, guys.